Mark.
Morning, Lawrence.
Yay! Morning. Micky's just having a bit problem. There we go. Morning, Micky, darling. Okay, Fran, I think we're ready to start the service. Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. How are we all? Big spiritual wave. Thank you for joining our first Zoom service of 2021. We're somewhere, wherever we are. And great pleasure to be going to have the lovely Micky in person with us today because of the uncertainty about whether we would be allowed to open or not. I made the decision to line up the Zoom meetings in the morning to replace what would be the physical service where we were changing over to. In the meantime, we are allowed to have physical services at the moment, so those will continue later on in the church at 3 p.m. But for January and February, certainly the Zoom services will be every Sunday morning, 10:45. Lovely Colin and Fran Moore-Hill are helping out by doing the sharing of the screen, which stops me looking confused on screen going, what's going on? So thank you so much for doing that, Colin and Fran. It was a really big help, trust me. Without further ado, I'd love to introduce our wonderful medium today, lovely Micky Havelock. Micky's always been in the area around, and I've never really gotten to know Micky too well until of late. And I have found out that our sense of humours converge in a completely disastrous fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the best we're not left alone too long.
No, and especially when we're still streaming. For those of you thinking, what the hell are they laughing at? We had a text message from Florida to say, do you realize you're still streaming live and we can all hear you? We're like, oh my God.
We had to check back over, weren't we? We were like, what were we saying? What were we talking about?
Exactly. And Mark Stone's laughing along because he was a culprit involved in that as well. But never mind.
He was. Just as guilty was Mark Stone.
Oh, in fact, I think he instigated it because he's on mute. We can say what we like.
I do.
It was all Mark's fault. Anyway, without further ado, Micky, my darling, would you care, please, to start our service with the opening blessing? Thank you.
Absolutely. Would you all like to join me in an opening prayer? Divine Spirit, loving Father, infinite universe, it is with joy and love that we gather together today to support, love, and comfort each other as we gently step forward into this new year. Let us release that which no longer serves us. May we embrace our hopes and dreams and lay to rest our fears and worries. Our connection to all that is and our knowing that we are supported, guided, and loved unconditionally empower us to face our obstacles with strength. We may not be gathered together under the same solid roof in this physical world, but we are gathered under the same sky, within the same universe, and we are all embraced by our loving Father. We welcome our loved ones who reside in the spirit realm to draw close with us this morning, that we may feel their love wrap around us and feel comforted by their presence. With open hearts and minds, we hand ourselves over and surrender ourselves into your loving care. Amen.
Amen. Micky, beautiful, beautiful prayer and so pertinent for today. And I love that part about we may not be under the same roof, but we're all under the same sky. Really wonderful. Thank you. For now, if you'd care to join in together and just saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not when in temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Thank you. So we have our first piece of music for the day. The subtitles will come up on screen. If you're at home, please join in. I really do think that we're not singing enough, especially those of us who are not with other people. So sing along if you can, because usually
Right this moment, there is a mad rush in America. Apple, Amazon, Facebook, dozens more. They're all radical new technology that will change the way we live. This is
first a
the
word from our
future.
sponsors. Well, again, hello. Lovely. And as you can see, screen sharing is not easy. So never mind, eh? We're all getting there. It doesn't matter. Micky, my darling, if
Yes.
I could hand over to you now for the reading and your address for today, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I really had to think about the fact that this is obviously your first Sunday service for the beginning of the year. So I kind of wanted to look at our journey and where we're going forward. And I found this really lovely story about the Buddha and the homeless man. And I just felt really strongly that I wanted to share that today. So I'm just going to read this story. The homeless man has been trying to gather food, and he keeps noticing that his food keeps disappearing. One day he caught a mouse that kept stealing his food, and he asked the mouse, "Why are you stealing from me? I'm a homeless man. You can steal from richer people than me, and it won't have any effect on them." Well, the mouse then told the homeless man, "But it's in your destiny. You can only have 8 items in your possession. No matter how much you beg or gather, this is all you can have." The homeless man was shocked, and he asked, "Well, why is it my destiny? How can I only have 8 items in my possession at any one time?" And the mouse said, "I don't know. You should try and ask the Buddha." So the homeless man decided to go on a journey and find the Buddha. And on his first day, as it became very late, he found himself at a wealthy family's home. He knocked on the door and asked if he could possibly spend the night. They willingly let him in, and they said to him, "Young man, why are you traveling so late?" And he said, "I have a question for the Buddha, and tomorrow I'll be on my way to ask him." The family said, "Well, we have an 18-year-old daughter who is unable to speak since her birth. We would like to ask, and we need to do so, that she can speak. What do we need to do?" Well, the young man says he will ask the Buddha for them and thanks them for the shelter. And the next morning he goes and continues his journey. He comes across huge mountains, and he meets a wizard who decides to take the young man and himself with his staff across the mountains. The wizard asks the young man, "Why are you trying to cross these mountains?" The young man said, "Well, I'm going to ask the Buddha about my destiny." The wizard said, "Can you ask the Buddha a question for me? I've tried to go to heaven for 1,000 years. And according to my teachings, I should be able to go to heaven now. Can you please ask him what I have to do?" "Of course I'll ask the Buddha your question," the young man said, and continues on his journey. He comes across a giant river that he cannot cross. He meets a big turtle who decides to help him and cross him the river. As they are crossing, the turtle asks, "Where are you going?" And the young man says, "I'm going to ask the Buddha about my destiny." "Can you please ask him a question for me too?" says the turtle. "I want to become a dragon since 500 years. According to my teachings, I should be a dragon by now." "Well, yes, of course I will ask your question." The young man thanks the turtle and continues his journey. The homeless man finally meets the Buddha, and lots of people are gathered there. The Buddha tells everyone, "I will answer all of you 3 questions, but only 3. Well, the young man is shocked. He has 4 questions to ask. He thinks carefully about the turtle who's lived for 500 years, trying desperately to become a dragon. The wizard who has been living for 1,000 years, trying desperately to go to heaven. And the young girl who might have to live her whole life without being able to speak a single word. He then thinks of himself, I'm just a homeless beggar. I can go home and continue begging. So he looks at everyone's problems, and his problem seems so small, and he feels sorry for all the others. So he decides to ask all their questions. So he asks the Buddha, and the Buddha says, well, the turtle is unwilling to leave his shell. As long as he stays unwilling to leave the comfort of his shell, he will never become a dragon. The wizard always carries his staff. He never puts it down. It's like an anchor. He will never be able to go to heaven if he doesn't put his staff down. And the young girl will one day be able to speak when she meets her soulmate. Well, the young beggar thanks and bows in front of the Buddha and went on his journey back home. He meets the turtle again and says, hey, you just have to take off your shell and you will become a dragon. Well, the turtle immediately whips off his shell, and inside his shell are 3 priceless pearls found deep in the ocean. The turtle gives the pearls to the young man and says, thank you, I don't need them anymore. I am now a dragon, and flies away. The homeless man reunites with the wizard and says, you just have to put down your staff and you'll be able to go to heaven. Well, the wizard lets go of his staff by giving it to the young man, and he goes to heaven. The young man now has the wealth from the turtle and the power from the wizard. He then goes to the wealthy family and tells them, the Buddha said your daughter will be able to speak when she meets her soulmate. In that moment, the daughter came back down the stairs and said, is that the young man who was here last week? The young girl and the once homeless man have found their soulmates. Looking at that story, it's all about the reinventing of our lives and paying attention to what we want out of life. What do we need to release and let go of? What do we need to change about ourselves? Because the journey always starts from within. And I think when you look at the turtle, he's so comfortable in his shell. That's his safety zone. He doesn't have to fear anything there. He's got his hard shell to protect himself. He knows he's untouchable and he's comfortable. So, but he stays within his fear of letting go. And so many of us do that. We desire something, we want to better our lives, we want to move forward, but we stay in our comfort zones. We're too fearful to step across that fear boundary and that fear barrier that we have that holds us safe. So I think it's important that that lesson is there, that when we let go of these things, we can move forward. And the wizard's staff, for me, very much depicts control, power, the ego. It's managing to constantly hold on and wanting to hold on to that power and control things, control that destiny, control the pathway, control what we're doing in life. And how many of us, you know, we want a certain thing, but we're moving towards it, but we want it to pan out the way we see it panning out, the way we want it to be, instead of trusting in our connection to all that is and truly leaning into the universe and allowing the energy to move us forward. If you take the young beggar man, he starts off on his journey and he's searching for meaning and understanding. He's trying to find out why he can only have 8 items in his possession. That's what he started off his journey with. But actually his journey evolved into so much more. It became how to be selfless, how to put others before himself, how to have those relationships with the different people and the different things that he met along the way. And he started to not have to follow the exact journey. If he was rigid and needing to be in control, He would have turned up at Buddha and he would have said, I'm here because I need to know why I can only have 8 things in my possession at any one time. Thank you very much. That's the only reason I'm here. But instead, he allowed himself to be taken by the journey. He allowed himself to be influenced by the pathway and what he was meeting, to be able to reach the other side with a far deeper and bigger understanding. And the girl with her voice, you know, at the end of the day, how many times do we not speak up on the things that we need and we stay silent? And we have to learn to be brave, to be able to speak up and say what we're struggling with or what we're fearful of. And he's just come this full journey. Now he's got the wealth, he's got the power, if you like, because the power for him comes from the understanding that he's received along his journey. And I just think coming into 2021, how many of us actually make a New Year's resolution? And what are we on? The 10th of January. I could guarantee a lot of people have already not fulfilled that or let that go, or, you know, and we've kind of gone, nope, yes, I'm going to do this. And, you know, by day 6 or day 4, we're gone, oh, maybe I'll try again next week. Maybe I'll try again next week. And it's like with this, instead of putting those pressures on ourselves, how about we just lean into the journey? There is so much outside of us, especially at the moment with everything going on, that we are not in control of. But the one thing that COVID can't control is what's within, our connection with the universe, our connection with all that is. Let's learn to really trust that, to really know that, and to lean into the journey. And we might start off on a pathway to fulfill a certain need within us, but it's okay if we wander off that pathway and allow ourselves to learn different lessons along the way. So I kind of want to leave that story with you to say, you know, question yourself after this service. What will you surrender this year? What will you do to break out of your comfort zone? And what will you choose to search for this year?
That was lovely. That was really, really beautiful, Micky. Thank you so much. Very true. This is a phrase that keeps ringing and resonating with me. It's not the destination, it's the journey. So true, because we deny ourselves so much if we fix our focus on what we want and neglecting actually what we need, which are often 2 different things. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Micky. That was a wonderful start. I did smile when you said how many of us have broken the resolutions. I thought, are you looking at me?
Are you one of those, Lauren?
Oh, might be. Even halfway through New Year's Day, I was thinking, oh, I wasn't going to do that. No, never mind. So thank you. Beautiful. Before we go on to the mediumship, we have our second piece of music. So the lovely Colin and Fran, when you are ready, thank you. Again, thank you very much. I'm saying I'm muted. I'm not muted. How dare you say I'm muted? We're having a mix of the music with the traditional hymns, and you know what? Some of these modern songs, you actually, one of the wonders now is you can see the words, and you know what? There's so much meaning in some of these. Hark at me, old man of the hills. These modern songs. But yeah, the message is always getting out there. It's just amazing how Spirit work can get that message over to all generations. Thank you, Colin and Fran. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fran, stop looking so worried, darling. You're doing really well. Thank you. So without further ado, I would like to hand over once more to Micky. If Micky identifies you, I will ask you to unmute so that you can talk directly to Micky. So Micky, my darling, over to you, my dear.
Okay, well, I've got to say that I've got a beautiful lady that came and stepped right in when that music was playing. And I know with her that she has this joy of music. It really lifts her spirits. But I do feel with this lady as well that she's mum. And I feel that she hasn't been over for that long. So I want to say that it's only within, I'm going to kind of stretch it out really and say within the last year, but it could even be within the last 6 months, because it feels she's quite, I don't feel that she's been over there very long, but she makes me feel that she gets very excited. She's somebody who, if I'm listening to music, I can't help, but I've got to tap my feet. I've got to tap my thigh and jig about to the music, because I can't help but move my body when I hear a beat and music. So somebody must understand, a mum, please, that's not been over for that long. When I say recent, I want to say within the last year. Does anybody understand that?
We have Louise.
Okay.
So that's it.
Morning.
Hi. You understand this, that mum's not past that long?
Yeah, she passed away last May.
Right, thank you. So and you'd understand this love of music with her.
Yes.
You know, I need to be tapping my feet, I need to be tapping my thigh, and I can't help but kind of jig around.
Yeah, she liked dancing
as it's playing. But I also know with her as well that if I'm out in a public place, if we were at the theatre, if we were somewhere, I can't help it. I'm
yes.
going to move around, and it's almost like the whole row of seats are kind of moving with her, because she just can't help but sort of like move around and get excited. And I feel as well here that if we were at the theatre or what have you with her, it would be more fun to watch mum loving it and enjoying it, because she just has that, I want to say, that childlike quality of just throwing themselves into immersing into the complete experience of it all and finding it all so wondrous. Do you understand that?
I do, yes.
Because she just fills me full of this joy to be there. And this must be something that you and her did together as well, please.
We have done, yes.
Because she makes me feel that it's like she couldn't wait to introduce you to that wonder of what she enjoys, and the music and theatre and the love of, do you know your mum has a great imagination? You'd understand that. She has this great ability of being able to just go and be in her own little space. Do you understand that?
I do, yes.
Because she also makes me feel that, especially as well towards the end of life as well, please, that I would have spent lots of time in contemplation. I would have spent lots of time within my own mind. Do you understand that?
I think yes.
Because I feel here that I'm going back over things and I'm recalling stories, and it feels like conversations that would have taken place between the two of you. She makes me feel that we would have reminisced and she would have talked about things from her past. Do you understand that?
I do, yes.
because she's recalling these moments, because there's do you know, it's almost like I feel that I know that I'm going on a level within myself. I know that I'm going to be leaving soon, which is the need to reminisce, but I don't consciously know it.
Yes.
But
I
you know,
get what you mean, yes.
yeah, because what I mean by that is if we look back, we can say, wow, look at those conversations, how apt they were leading up to you leaving, because I learned so much about you in that space, because she makes me feel like she would have revealed lots of things about herself towards the sort of, I'd say, in the last like 6 months of her life. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And I know as well that, do you understand that she missed a big event? There must have been something that was planned, or a big birthday or a big celebration that she passes before that takes place. Say no to me if it's a no.
Well, there was, I mean, it's before she passed. She couldn't go to my 50th birthday because she was too ill to attend. So it was round about that time.
It feels like there is a big celebration.
Yes.
And there is, you know, a gathering of people, but I miss it. I can't get this. That's my misinterpretation.
Yes.
That she missed it because she'd already passed, but she misses it because she's not well enough. But this is something that your mum would have loved. Your mum would have loved to have been at that party.
Yes.
Of just being in the mix and chatting and holding court very much. She loved, you know, she makes me feel that she has this ability to just be able to hold court. People kind of like come to her for her funny stories and her chats, and she's so easy to talk to, and she just gets on with everybody, and she just makes me feel that people would have kind of gathered around her, and she kind of quite likes that. She makes me feel that she always sort of reveled in it, really, and chatted away to everybody, and loved their company and loved to laugh. Your mum has a really lovely laugh. It's one of those laughs that when she gets going, we're all going to laugh along with her, even though we haven't got a clue what we're laughing at. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because it's like I can hear her laughing in another room, and it's like, what is she on now? But she, again, this is mum. She likes to find the joy in everything. And no matter what comes along, because she did have to deal with some really tough times. Do you understand?
I do, yes.
And she really had to pull her boots up, because she makes me feel that she really had to dig down deep to pull strength up to keep going sometimes, because of what she dealt with. Did she? Oh, no, I'm not going to ask you the question. She makes me feel that Dad's passed before her.
Yes.
And it was a real blow for her to lose him. Do you understand?
I think
that?
It was, yes.
And it's really, you know, but again, it's that she has this ability to put this front on and to just get on with things, because that's what she's learned over her life, to just accept that she cannot change and to just keep moving. Now, it's interesting because as I say that, she brings in that there is this religious side to her. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, when I don't feel that she's somebody who would religiously have to go to church or religiously have to do this practice, that practice. But I do feel with her that there is a very strong religious foundation with her.
Yes.
And it is that faith that she feels keeps making her pull her strength up and keep moving forward. And she's starting to trip over her words. She's making me feel like I'm starting to trip over my words. So I know there must become a problem, especially towards the end here with my mouth. Do you understand this? I'm struggling with dry mouth. I'm struggling with not being able to form my words properly.
Yeah, she didn't feel like talking a lot towards the end.
Because I don't feel I can. I feel like it's uncomfortable and it's awkward because I can't quite find the right words, and that's frustrating for me, because she also brings me to the point that as well towards the end, she gets a bit crabby and a bit frustrated. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And she's apologizing for that. And it's funny because as she's apologizing, I'm sort of saying, I'm already saying to her, you don't need to apologize.
No.
It's okay. But that's mum. She wouldn't like to think that she's offended anybody. That's who she was. She hated to offend people. She hated to upset people. But that doesn't mean that she wouldn't say what she thinks.
Yes.
But she would say it in the kindest way she could find. Do you understand that?
True, yes.
And it's so I'm going to make my point and I'm going to say what I need to say, but I will find the kindest way to do so. She was, so that snappiness, that crabbiness towards the end is so out of character for her that she feels like she needs to apologize for it. Now, just to finish off here, she takes me to, you must have, please, a photograph of her and your dad together that must be up in your house.
Well, we're doing some redecorating, so we've taken a lot of photos down,
But you would normally have a photograph of your mum and dad
somewhere,
together.
yes.
Because she makes me feel that this togetherness is they're back together as well. That photograph depicting of them together, they are back together. And it's interesting because she makes me feel, do you know, he did irritate her at times.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
irritated me as well.
Goodness. She's just making me feel, you know, we're back together. It's lovely. But he still irritates me.
Oh, yes. That sounds about right for him.
That's the way she's made that feel. She's literally like, oh, we're back together. But God, he still irritates me. And it's interesting because she says that your dad very quickly comes in here and just expresses the fact that, you know, he's somebody who really feels that he knows what's what. Yes. And, you know, how he sees things is how it is.
Exactly.
He's always right. He's never wrong. And he's letting me know now that he's still never wrong. He's still always right. And your mum's kind of giggling and laughing about that because it's that acceptance of who they are and acceptance of, you know, of who they were. She kind of understood him, even though he irritated her. And there was a deep love there between them.
There was, yes.
Really was. So I'm going to leave their love with you. And I'm going to blow you a kiss from Mum.
Thank you, Micky.
You are very welcome.
Lovely.
Take care.
Thank you, you too.
Okay.
So.
All righty. Who's around? All right. Now, that's interesting. I've got a gentleman that steps forward here, and I know that he has a very strong military connection because I know that as he steps in very upright, and I know that I feel very, I want to say proper. And I do feel that he would have been an officer at some point. So does somebody understand, please, a gentleman? No, that's not enough. Come on, sweetheart. Do you understand a gentleman who would have military connections? But I know that I want to be very proper. And I do feel this is Dad. He makes me feel that I'm Dad. So I must have Dad, please, who is. Oh, am I on? What? Was I muted? I can't hear you, Lawrence. You're muted.
Kirsty's mutes. It's all right, my darling, you're back.
Was I muted?
Yes.
Oh, my life. Well, I was having a way old time with this gentleman and nobody could hear me. That's just fabulous. Oh my God, I love this online stuff. Well, okay, let me start again. I have a gentleman here, and I know that as this gentleman steps forward, I know that there must be a military connection with him because he feels very upright, he feels very together, he feels very put together, and I feel very proper And that's the way I want to put it. I feel very proper with him. And I do feel that this would be Dad, please, because he makes me feel I'm Dad and I'm here and I'm very proper. But I do feel as well that he would have been an officer or would have made himself sort of up the ranks within the military. Does anybody understand that, please? No? Okay.
I'm being a gentleman and waiting for anybody else to put their hand up. Oh, hold on, Jack, you've come off mute. Do you understand this, sir?
Not with Dad, but understand with the granddad.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, hold on a second then. And you would understand that he worked his way up through the ranks, please, because
yes,
as I was saying, Dad, there was a little part of me that was going, this might not be Dad. But would you understand that if this is your grandfather, please, that he was very much like a father figure in your life? Say no to me.
Kind of. I've never met him, but he have kind of been a father figure in a different way. He has been come through like that before, so I understand what you're saying.
He just makes me feel that there is such a connection here between the two of you. Definitely. And he just makes me feel that he's very much guiding you and steering you, and he very much, so it makes me feel like I want to be a father and fatherly towards you.
That makes sense.
Because I know with him as well that as I move up the ranks, do you understand him being very proper as well, please? I need to be aware of how I'm pronouncing my words.
As far as I know, yes.
And he very much expresses himself very well, really. But I have to pronounce my words properly. He would... Now, this is interesting because no. Do you work with this, sir? Do you work within this mediumship realm? Because he's making me feel that he speaks with you. Do you understand? Yeah. Understand? Because he's making me, as I'm sort of questioning him and saying to him, you know, what is this relationship that I'm feeling and experiencing? Because if you've never met him, and he's like, oh, but he's met me through the ether, through the energy, I draw very close with him. And he makes me feel, as he's talking about this, he's getting very excited about the fact that he's part of your team. Do you understand?
Yes.
And he works very closely with you. Now, he makes me feel as well that you would have done some investigation on him as well, please, and looked into that he's giving you bits and pieces of information that you've had to go and find out to be sure that it's him. You understand?
That's correct, yes.
And he makes me feel as well that there must be he's showing me like a medal that he talks about that would have been, it's not the norm. Gosh. What I mean by that is it doesn't feel like it's the normal kind of medals that get given out. It's special. And that it's kind of buried within the family is the way he's making me feel. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know exactly about the medal, but I would understand what you're saying about things that are buried within the family.
Yeah, because I want to bury lots of things in the family. Like there's a lot of skeletons kind of buried within the family. And I do feel as well with him, please, that he talks about the era in which there was so much shame around keeping things quiet to avoid shame. Do you understand this?
Definitely.
Because we've got to be seen in a certain way. We've got to appear to the outside world as the perfect family, as everything is in order and everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. But behind closed doors, there's a lot of secrets that sit within that we don't talk about.
Yes.
Okay. But he talks about the fact that you have unearthed some of these as well, and that you have become aware of some of these too.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And it's kind of, to begin with, there was he makes me feel that he's helped to guide you to find some of those secrets too.
Yeah.
And it's, which is interesting, because as he's making me feel at this moment that I almost kind of want to cringe as I say that, because he kind of helps you to find them, but there's also another part of him that doesn't really want you to find the secrets. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And if I feel into that, it just makes me feel that, because this is something that here, when he was here, he really wouldn't have wanted it to be exposed or to be talked about, because everything has to be proper. Now, what is that, please? Do you understand that there must be a headstone that belongs with him, please?
I don't know of it.
He's showing me a headstone. I want to see what's written on the headstone, because he's showing me a headstone, and there must be some reference to, there's some reference with his military as well, because he makes me feel that he's very proud of his military background. It's something that gave him a purpose. It's something that made him feel worthy. Probably,
yeah.
Would you understand as well, please, that with Grandad, he makes me feel that childhood was not easy for him.
Yeah, that would make sense, yeah.
It was not easy for him at all. And this is where the military very much made him feel a part of something, to feel connected with something, and to really feel a part of a family. Because I just feel my childhood is very rough. He keeps taking me to the color gray. I keep seeing gray everywhere. So why are you showing me this gray? Would you understand his military uniform being gray?
Yes.
Because he keeps bringing me to gray and showing me this gray. But I want to brush everything down. I want to make sure that everything's completely in. Do you know when he's around, because you feel yourself straighten up? Do you understand?
Yeah, understand.
Because he makes me feel that he pulls your shoulders back, and he pulls you to standing quite strong, because he sees a lot of himself in you as well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He says that he sees a lot of himself in you, and that is where this connection comes through. Now he's talking about he's making. Go on. You must have decided that you are going to go all out this year, to do something, to really step into your power, to really step into your work. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Because he makes me feel that you've been hiding behind a bushel, that you've been keeping your light dim, that you've been kind of tentatively moving forward and questioning things, and but you don't have the full confidence to just walk out there and go, this is me and this is what I can do. Do you understand that?
Partly.
Okay, because he makes me feel like I want to stand behind you and kind of push you forward and say, this year you got to step out there, son. You've got to move forward. You've got to embrace it. And there must be things already in the pipeline, and things that are already in order and in a diary of things that we're going to do that we haven't quite done before.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a little bit of you that gets a little bit nervous about that. But at the same time, he wants to impress upon the fact that he's right there with you. Lean back, lean into him, and allow him to carry you. Okay? And allow him to push you forward. All right? So with that, I'm going to leave his love with you and look forward to what you get up to this year. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, now, am I back on mute? I don't know. Am I still on mute, Lawrence? Am I on mute? Am I not on mute?
Nope, we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, God.
Imagine if you could mute yourself in real life. I mean,
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
or if you can mute others, that'd be brilliant. Anyway, moving on.
Now, there's a thought. Okay, all right. Come on then, my sweet. All right, come along. Okay, well, do you know, I've got another gentleman that steps in here. And I know with this gentleman, as he comes in, I feel that there's a bit of a rough edge to him. And I do feel as he steps forward that there's, oh, how can I put that? He wasn't always the best when he was here. He didn't always make the right decisions when he was here. And he makes me feel that he's a bit of a scrapper. That he is a bit of a fighter. I kind of want street fighting with him as well. I know that, gosh, that's very, no, I am going to say it because that's how he feels. I feel like I'm a bit scrappy. Back in the day, it was kind of how I made some money as well. I made some extra money with street fighting. And am I a betting man? I feel like I might be a betting man. Okay, come on, sweet. I do feel with this gentleman that I feel that I want to be grandfather and I want to be on father's side, it feels. Does anybody understand? Does anybody understand that? Does anybody want to own up to that?
I understand it.
Oh! Hi, Val.
Hi.
Oh gosh, I do know that. Gosh, okay. All right. You would understand. So you would understand grandfather being a scrappy street fighter.
Yes.
Okay. All right. He needs to give me stuff that I've not had before then, because he has come through before. Through me, has he? Have I given him to you before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, hold on then. All right. Okay. Oh, that kind of like shunted me right out of my power. I was like, oh, no, it's Val. I know her. All right. Hold on a second then. Hold on a second. Let me just step back in. And now enter. Would you understand with him as well, please, that he's this street fighter? But I know that I'm betting with this as well. I want money to exchange hands, and I know that I want to earn money that comes from this, and I know that I want to put boxing gloves on as well, please. Do you understand this?
Yeah,
he must have done boxing in a boxing ring, and actually done professional boxing as such, in his mind, professional boxing.
In his mind.
Yeah, in his mind. And I'm saying that because he makes me feel that in his mind, he can do no wrong. Do you understand this? In his mind, he's the best.
Yes.
And he makes me feel here as well that taking away the ring, the boxing ring and the boxing gloves, he makes me feel that I know that I'm in the back streets. I want back streets. I want undercover street fighting in the back streets.
Yes. I understand that.
And you also understand he's a bit devious as well. Oh, I'm so sorry because your grandfather, but do you understand that he's a bit devious? Because I feel I kind of feel like I would have rigged some of these fights as well to make sure that I win. Yes. And I kind of con people.
Yes.
Sorry. But this is how he makes me feel, that he would have conned people out of money. And you understand with him as well that he has a large family.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've got quite a few children. and I'm not great at being there as a father figure at all. I feel very much that I'm doing my own thing, really. It's all about me. I'm very selfish.
Absolutely.
I feel incredibly selfish, and you know, I'm making good money. You know, I make good money, but my family doesn't see it. Does that make sense? Because I feel like I spend it on myself. This extra money is all for me. It's myself, and there's a real come on now. Do you understand that I feel very disrespectful towards your grandmother as well, please?
Yes, I understand that.
I feel like I don't respect my wife very much.
That's right.
Do you know what, Val? I've got to tell you, I know you, and I just would not place someone like this as your family member at
Absolutely.
all. I'm just, well. And he just, you know, I want to roll my sleeves up and I can get a little bit handsy with your grandmother. Do you understand that?
Yes, I can understand that.
Goodness me. But you know, obviously, I'm going to say from being over the other side, he's learning about himself. He's taking that time for self-reflection and to really learn about himself. But he also brings forth, because I'm like, why would you want to come today? And he just makes me feel that there's a need within him to give you strength right now. Does that make sense? Because he's talking about,
yes, it does,
that he needed to get firm and scrappy, and he was hard as nails, really. Didn't give a damn. And like he wants a little bit of that to kind of brush off on you. Let's not all of it, hey, a little bit.
No.
Getting to the point where you kind of, there's certain things that happen for you or are happening for you that he kind of feels like he wants you to be a bit more, I don't give a damn. I'm not going to care. I'm going to stand strong in myself and say, I know this to be true. I know this to be right. And I'm going to follow that pathway, no matter how much I try to get pushed off it. Does that make sense?
It does, to a degree. Yeah.
He's making me feel as well that there's a need to just hand you, I want to hand you that kind of, that inner strength with him, really, taking away all the bad side of things, but that need to being shut down is very hard. Do you understand?
Yes.
And it's very hard to be stuck in those four walls, and you need people, you need interaction, you need to feel a part of something.
Yes.
That makes sense.
It does.
And he's kind of pushing you with that strength, going, just take a bit of my scrappy strength and, you know, allow that to sort of like carry you through, because there is this humbleness that comes from him that is shocking, because he makes me feel that when he was here, there was none of it. Right up to his dying day, he didn't regret a thing.
That's right.
About a thing. But he does feel to me now that he's learning about this humbleness, and he's starting to get a bit understanding that, and the need to make things right. Well, he's making things right in his own way with his wife and some of his children, because he makes me feel that some of his children will be there with him in the spirit world too. Right. But he's making me feel like his way of making things right, his healing process, is by helping people, his grandchildren that are still here, and kind of working with them, which is an unselfish thing to do.
He's learning.
He's learning. So he's just saying, you know, when you feel down, pull yourself back up and just put them up and protect yourself, but at the same time, fight for what you need, fight for what you want. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Deepest love with you.
Thank you.
Micky, darling.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Are we done?
Have you done?
Are we done? Oh my goodness, yeah, we're done.
I know. Yeah, this is it, isn't it? When you're working directly with spirit, time just goes out the window. It just flies. Absolutely flies. Moving on now briefly, I don't know why I said briefly, just words are falling in my head. We move on now. We've just got a quick notice for next Sunday at same time, 10:45 on Zoom. And we have the gentleman who's in the room today, the lovely Jack from Denmark, will be taking our service. And he will have with him Lola Kiss Jensen, who will also be part of taking the service. So we look forward to that. Before I ask Micky to close in prayer, as we're now in that energy, in that vibration of spirit, you just gently close your eyes just for a very brief time and just send out healing thoughts to those that you know, and not forgetting yourself also. And just invite spirit in. Invite in that energy, that love, that enfoldment that comes from the heart of all creation, under the banner and the name and the energy of healing. Divine Spirit, we thank you for that healing moment. Let us not constrain our healing thoughts to one short time, but keep us ever mindful that we can send out and receive healing wherever and whenever the need arises. Micky, my darling, absolutely wonderful. I absolutely love that story. I love the reading. Brilliant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If I could ask you for the closing prayer, please.
Absolutely. If you'd just like to bow your heads and close your eyes and join me in our closing prayer. Divine Spirit, loving Father, infinite universe, as we bow our heads in reverence, we give our gratitude for the gathering of like minds, the embrace of love, and the inspiration you have touched us with today. As we step into the coming week, may we ask for your gentle guidance to be clear, your love to be felt, and your strength to empower us from within. May your healing rays always find those in need, and may your inspiration dance through our souls, lifting us and empowering us to face the challenges that may lay ahead. With our connection to all that is, we know we are loved, guided, and protected. In gratitude and service, Amen.
Amen. Micky, beautiful, beautiful service. Thank you so much. Just also a quick reminder, at this time, we are allowed to hold physical services within the UK, and we are also allowed to attend those under the current regulations. So we will be having a in-house live service here in Paul Church at 3 o'clock today. That'll be streamed live on our Facebook page, and we welcome David and Irene Jackson as mediums for today. So it's later on today at 3 o'clock. Enough waffling from me. Thank you so much for everybody for attending. Jamie, thank you for bringing your mummy along in the background there. It's lovely. Thank you, Jack, for joining us from Denmark. It's just truly amazing now, the reach and the power of the internet. Wish you all a blessed day, peaceful day, safe day, and look after yourselves, because do you know what? Nobody else will. working together, working in love, working in harmony and unity will get us through this. So thank you all.